All right, man. Indiana Fever news, fresh off the press. Sophie Cunningham with a big announcement prior to potentially returning to the Indiana Fever. This is something that we definitely have to pay attention to because Sophie the Trophy, the blonde bomber, 1/3 of Tres Leches, is a key and vital part of this team. And I'm hoping and praying that the bonehead Indiana Fever front office and head coach will make the right moves to secure Caitlin Clark's right.
Her words came out, and suddenly everything went quiet. Sophie Cunningham may have just hinted at a major change in her career, one that could seriously shake up the Indiana Fever. Fans were expecting a basic update about her knee injury, but instead, she surprised everyone by talking about her future in a way that raised big questions. Now it's starting to feel like her time with the Fever might not be guaranteed anymore, especially if the team's management doesn't step up. Sophie isn't just sitting back and waiting anymore. She's making bold moves off the court, focusing on her growing brand and bigger opportunities beyond basketball. And now the entire league is paying attention because the Fever's enforcer is playing a completely different game. And for Caitlin Clark's team, the pressure just got a whole lot bigger.
That the bonehead Indiana Fever front office and head coach will make the right moves to secure Caitlin Clark's right teammates. It's a big deal, y'all. We got to break this thing down, man. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit that bell notification, and hype the video. As always, it would be greatly appreciated if you hype the video. Let's get into things. So, off season is underway. Moves have to be made. Decisions have to be made. And we don't need people distracted like I see Stephanie White is clearly distracted with side.
This announcement couldn't have come at a more critical or stressful time for Indiana Fever fans. Sophie Cunningham's 1-year, $100,000 contract has officially expired, making her one of the most sought-after free agents on the market. After spending 6 years with the Phoenix Mercury, she finally found her rhythm in Indiana, but the end of the 2025 season turned into a tough setback. Now things are getting even more interesting. With the WNBA introducing a new collective bargaining agreement, the league's financial structure is changing in a big way. Sophie is now at a point where her off-court success is starting to match what she brings on the court. She understands her value, and before free agency begins next month, she's making sure the Fever front office understands it too.
Decisions have to be made, and we don't need people distracted like I see Stephanie White is clearly distracted with side quests and side gigs right now. I don't like it, but hey, it is what it is. Sophie Cunningham had a big time announcement. Let's take a look at it. Sophie Cunningham announces career news before 8th WNBA season. All right. Here it says Sophie Cunningham of the Indiana Fever had a disappointing 2025 WNBA season, which ended with a semifinal loss to the Las Vegas Aces.
To understand why this news is so shocking, you have to look at how her last season ended. Sophie was averaging around 9 points and 4 rebounds, shooting an impressive 47% from the field. She was a key piece for the team until everything changed against the Connecticut Sun. A torn MCL didn't just end her season, it completely shifted the Fever's momentum. With her injury and the physical strain on Caitlin Clark, the team was forced to miss the playoffs. What started as a promising season ended in disappointment and raised serious questions about whether Sophie can return to her best form again.
They 1000% would have won that WNBA title last season. I believe they would have. But hey, it is what it is. Here it says, Cunningham spent their first 6 seasons with the Phoenix Mercury before the Fever acquired her last offseason via trade. The former Missouri guard found success in Indiana, averaging 8.6 points per game on 47% shooting, 3.5 rebounds, 1.2 assists per game. But in August, Cunningham suffered a torn MCL, which ended her 7th WNBA season. And I believe that came against the Connecticut Sun, where they played dirty.
The narrative surrounding her return has been complicated by the sheer intensity of the way she plays the game. Sophie Cunningham earned the nickname Sophie the Trophy for a reason, but she's also the undisputed bodyguard for the franchise cornerstone. When the Connecticut Sun decided to play dirty and ambush Caitlin Clark, it was Sophie who stepped into the line of fire. She didn't hesitate to defend her teammate against the low-down tactics of a team that seemed determined to bruise the rookie star. That loyalty is why the fans love her, but it's also why her recent announcement feels like such a pivot. Is she still focused on being the muscle on the court, or has her focus shifted to the massive opportunities waiting for her in the corporate world?
Cunningham suffered a torn MCL, which ended her 7th WNBA season. And I believe that came against the Connecticut Sun, where they play dirty. They're a bunch of low down, dirty players over there. We already know how they give it up. Okay, they ambushed and attacked Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham stepped in, and that is part of the reason why we love her. And then it just so happens that at Connecticut, another dirty play happens from Bria Hartley, and it ends Sophie Cunningham's, I believe it was versus them, where her season got injured. But I know that's when Caitlin Clark's groin got hurt again as well.
The big news getting everyone's attention is a major partnership that shows Sophie is growing into a global name. She recently announced a high-profile collaboration between her popular podcast Show Me Something and hospitality giant Marriott Bonvoy. This isn't just a simple promo, it's a 4-episode limited series called Live from the Bracket, launching right during the excitement of March Madness. The project highlights Sophie as more than just an athlete, positioning her as a rising media personality. She was even seen in New York City, out in the streets connecting with fans, talking college basketball, and building buzz around the series. While the Fever front office may still be figuring things out, Sophie is clearly making big moves and capitalizing on major opportunities off the court.
To be sure, which is why I need this front office focused and paying attention, because we got to make sure these people are coming with the correct intentions. Unlike Dewana, the scammer Bonner, who hustled the team, unlike Natasha Howard, who wanted to come and be MVP and all of this stuff. We need people that are coming. We know you're going to reap some benefits. You're going to gain popularity. You're probably going to make some extra off the court money, etc. We need to make sure you are here for the right reasons, though. And I feel like the front office has to do a better job of that. Make no mistake about it. So
fans are starting to worry that the Indiana Fever's front office and coach Stephanie White aren't fully focused during this important offseason. While Sophie Cunningham is making big moves off the court, the team's leadership seems distracted. Last season already showed how poor decisions can hurt, and if they don't build the right team around Caitlin Clark, they could waste her prime years. Sophie's role is very important. She brings toughness, protects her teammates, and plays with full effort. She proved her value by playing hard, supporting the team, and even pushing through injury. Without her, the team could struggle against the physical nature of the league. At the same time, Sophie is growing her brand and becoming a bigger name, but she has still delivered on the court. That's why fans want the team to keep her. She's not just a strong player, she also helps create space for Caitlin Clark and keeps the offense flowing. In the end, Sophie has done her part. Now it's up to the Indiana Fever to step up, make the right moves, and make sure she stays with the team.